Okay, so think about this. Imagine stepping into your own dream, but instead of just being a passenger, you're actually in control.
Right, like you can fly, explore, do pretty much anything. That's the idea behind lucid dreaming.
Exactly. And today, we're diving into one specific technique for getting there called FILD. That stands for Finger-Induced Lucid Dreaming.
And our source for this, a YouTube video, How to Lucid Dream Instantly. FILD tutorial step-by-step, finger-induced lucid dreaming.
Really positions FILD as, well, potentially one of the fastest methods out there.
Yeah, it suggests it's even good for beginners, which is interesting. Apparently, all you really need is your hands and an alarm clock.
Which sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But what's key and what the video points out is that, while some people might have success like right away, maybe even the first night.
It's not guaranteed for everyone, I suppose.
Exactly. For others, it might take more time, maybe a bit more practice. Persistence seems pretty important here. Okay, so our goal today isn't just to read out the steps. We want to unpack this FILD technique, look at the why behind the how, and give you the context you need if you're thinking about trying it.
Right. Let's get into the fundamentals first. The video stresses a couple of things you really need before you even attempt the finger movements.
And number one seems to be dream recall.
Hmm.
Makes sense, right? If you don't remember your dreams normally.
How would you even know if you became lucid? Yeah, it's foundational.
So how do you improve that? The suggestion is pretty classic.
Keep a dream journal. Just the act of writing down whatever you remember as soon as you wake up apparently trains your brain to pay more attention to dreams.
Okay, so get the dream journal habit going. What's the second prerequisite? Something about sleep cycles.
Yes, having a fairly regular sleep schedule. This helps you figure out when your REM sleep periods typically happen.
REM sleep. That's rapid eye movement sleep. That's where most vivid dreaming occurs.
Precisely. And knowing when you tend to be in REM is crucial because FILD is designed to be done ideally right when you're in that state or just coming out of it. It maximizes your chances.
It's about hitting that perfect window.
Exactly. When your brain is already sort of primed for dreaming and potentially more receptive to staying conscious within it.
All right, so prerequisites, remember your dreams, know your REM cycle roughly. Let's get to the technique itself. Step one is about waking up strategically.
Right. You go to sleep like normal, but you set an alarm. The suggestion is for maybe 4 to 6 hours after you initially fall asleep.
And the aim is to wake up right in the middle of or just after a REM period.
Yes. You might need to play around with the timing a bit night after night. The video suggests a good sign is if you wake up and you feel like you were just dreaming.
Okay, that's your sweet spot.
That's likely it.
So the alarm goes off. Step two, gentle awakening. You need to turn off the alarm without really moving much or becoming fully alert. That sounds tricky.
It really does. It's a delicate balance. You want to stay sort of sleepy, right on the edge.
And this is where those touchless alarms come in. The video mentioned an app.
Yeah, it mentioned lucidity as one example. The idea is anything that lets you silence the alarm with minimal physical movement, minimal disruption, so you don't snap yourself wide awake.
Okay, minimal movement, alarm off, you're still groggy. Step three.
Prepare to go back to sleep. Just, try to drift off again exactly like you normally would.
But you're not actually trying to fall asleep completely yet.
Not quite. The goal here is to get yourself to that very specific point, that sort of fuzzy state right before you lose consciousness and fall back asleep. That's the launching pad for FILD.
Ah, okay, that liminal state. And that's when the finger stuff starts. Step four, the actual FILD movement.
Right. You put one hand flat, maybe on the mattress beside you, fingers relaxed, not like tensed up or awkwardly bent.
In the movement itself, it's described as simple but very slight.
Super slight. Imagine you're playing piano, but only with your index and middle fingers and barely pressing the keys.
So index finger down, middle finger lifts slightly, then middle finger down, index finger lifts slightly.
Exactly that. And you just keep repeating this tiny, tiny alternating movement very, very gently. The key is slight. You don't want the movement itself to keep you awake.
Okay, tiny, gentle piano playing. Then step five involves fading this movement.
Yeah. You keep the sensation going, but you make the physical movement even lighter, less and less noticeable.
Until it's almost invisible, or maybe stops completely.
Right. Eventually, you might not be physically moving your fingers at all, but you continue to feel or intend that piano playing sensation in your mind. It shifts from physical to mental.
Interesting. So it becomes a focus point, which leads nicely into step six, mental focus.
Exactly. While you're maintaining that subtle finger sensation, physical or mental, You relax your body and mind even more. Try not to get distracted by other thoughts.
Just focus everything on that feeling of alternating fingers, visualizing the piano playing.
Pretty much. And this is supposedly how FILD works its magic. That tiny, repetitive focus, whether it's the slight movement or just the mental intention.
That does something to the brain.
It seems to stimulate a part of the brain just enough to keep your mind hovering on the edge of wakefulness while your body is allowed to fall back asleep, potentially entering sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. So FILD sort of consciously induces that state.
That's the idea. It uses that natural mechanism where the body immobilizes itself during REM, creating that perfect state for your conscious mind to sort of detach and step into the dream world.
Okay, so you're doing the finger thing, focusing. What might you actually experience during this transition phase?
Well, the video mentions you might notice maybe changes in your breathing or see some weird shapes or colors behind your closed eyelids. Hypnagogic imagery, basically.
And if that happens, just ignore it.
Yeah, don't focus on it too much. Just let it drift past. It's similar advice to the wild technique wake-induced lucid dreaming.
Or you might just slip into the dream without noticing any transition at all.
Right. It could just feel like, well, like nothing changed. You might just suddenly be in a dream environment, feeling completely normal.
Which is why the next step is absolutely crucial. Step 7, the reality check.
Yes. After maybe, say, 30 seconds or so of the finger technique, when you suspect you might have transitioned, you need to check if you're actually dreaming.
And this is important, the check has to be different from usual reality checks, right? Because moving too much could ruin it.
Exactly. You're still in that delicate state where physical movement could wake you up. So you need a reality check you can do with almost zero movement.
And the main one recommended is?
Try to pinch your nose closed mentally or block the air passage at the back of your throat and then try to breathe through your nose.
If you can still breathe, even though your nose should be blocked.
Then congratulations, you're almost certainly dreaming.
Yeah.
And you did it without moving a muscle.
Clever. Are there other no-movement checks mentioned?
Briefly, yeah. Things like trying to bite your tongue gently in a dream. It might not hurt or feel solid. Or even just willing something small to appear in front of you.
Okay. So you perform one of these subtle checks. It works. You confirm you're dreaming.
And then the fun begins. You're lucid. The dream world is yours to explore. Do whatever you want.
Awesome. So just to wrap that up, FILD uses that specific wake-up timing, the super subtle finger movement that transitions from physical to mental.
To keep the mind tethered to awareness while the body falls asleep, allowing entry into a lucid state, which you then confirm with a non-physical reality check.
It really underscores that practice and patience might be needed, as results can vary quite a bit.
Absolutely. It's a skill like any other.
And that brings us to a final thought, something for you, the listener, to ponder. What does a technique like FILD really imply?
Yeah, it's not just about cool dream inventors, is it? It's about intentionally manipulating your state of consciousness, finding that boundary between mind awake, body asleep.
What could accessing that state deliberately open up? Could it be more than just dream control, maybe a unique space for, I don't know, self-reflection or creativity?
Or even problem solving, accessing parts of your mind in a different way. It really makes you think about the potential locked within our own sleep and how techniques like this might just be scratching the surface. What possibilities could that unique awareness unlock for you?